The capital market globally remains the barometer of economic performance and platform for strengthening corporate governance for companies. In Nigeria, the Pearl Awards initiative has evolved for 3 decades, recognizing excellence and performance in the capital market. To mark its 30th anniversary, the board of Pearl Awards hosted a corporate summit themed Built to Last, a roadmap for corporate Nigeria. Dr. Tayo Orekoya, the president and CEO of Pearl Awards Nigeria, highlighted the value of the event and the journey of recognizing performance in the stock market.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this summit, Built to Last, is not a coincidence. It is a deliberate reflection of what Nigeria's corporate sector must now aspire to: sustainable growth, institutional integrity, intergenerational impact. In a rapidly evolving business environment shaped by technology, global competition, and socio-economic disruptions, the ability to last is not just a virtue, it is a necessity. It is imperative. This summit is therefore not just about celebrating the past, it is about co-creating the future. It is in this spirit that we unveil our latest publication, the second edition of the Winning Strategies of Nigeria's Corporate Giants. This book captures the insights, strategies, and leadership philosophies of some of the most outstanding companies in Nigeria, companies that have weathered the storms, embraced innovation, prioritized governance, and delivered long-term value. The lessons within its pages are not only timeless, but also highly relevant to the emerging generation of corporate leaders and policymakers.
The Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Imomotimi Agama, in his address assured stakeholders of an enabling regulatory environment to support businesses through a robust capital market. It featured goodwill messages from the political, government, and capital market leaders.
The SEC pledges deeper collaboration with market participants. We are actually reviewing listing rules to facilitating SME access to capital. And therefore, we have established an Office of Small Business Advocacy at the SEC to promote justice, establishing the Nigerian FinTech Hub to guide emerging technologies. What do we want to do? We want to call to action. As we celebrate 30 years of Pearl Awards, a beacon of corporate excellence endorsed by the SEC since 2003, let us rekindle our shared commitment to building institutions that outlive us. The SEC, indeed, will soon convene the industry working groups to crystallize these pillars into sustainable action policies. It is therefore important that as regulators of this market and as the custodian of the principles of corporate governance within the capital market framework, we will always support anything that is good, making sure that the future indeed is not only pregnant, the future delivers a bouncing baby that will grow even into an oak.
In his keynote address, Dr. Biodun Adidipe, founder and chief consultant Biodun Adidipe Associates Consult, outlined the role the capital markets can play in supporting sustainable Nigerian indigenous companies.
There's need to have regulatory reforms that you mentioned in your address, sir, to be in line with market dynamics. Very important. So that we can promote transparency and also ensure efficiency. Then there's a need to deepen incentives for capital raising. That the company raise capital from the market, what are the incentives for that? So that we bring more companies to list on the exchange, rather than look at the exchange otherwise. Then collaborations, of course, to deepen backwardation. Backwardation simply is the new term that replaced backward integration. So you don't think I'm creating the grammar myself. It's a global thing. All right? Then we need to strengthen the rule of law and, of course, dispute resolution. And then, as you also said in your speech, intensify ease of doing business. So let me conclude this way. Companies that are here, what should they do? Good governance, innovation, professional and diverse boards, very important. And of course, risk management is fundamental. And then think beyond the founders. Then regulators. We need policy consistency. We need also commerce facilitation. Because the essence of regulation is not to stifle commerce, but to facilitate it. So there must be a handshake between regulators and operators. Market access, collaboration, and to also minimize compliance costs. Very important. This is a global phenomenon. The last component is for investors. Investors should also deliberately reward long-term outlook, not short-term gains and benefits. And of course, also engage in policy advocacy.
The event featured a panel session moderated by Bosun Omofai, a financial journalist and anchor of the Rise Exchange program. Highlight of the event was the presentation and unveiling of the book Winning Strategies for Nigeria Corporate Giants. Dr. Tayo Orekoya and other key stakeholders speak on the theme Built to Last, a roadmap for corporate Nigeria.
The key thing was the vision, and apart from the vision, we also have been able to put in place the structures. Talking about corporate governance, we have a board that is peopled by first-class professionals who are men and women of integrity. And we also have continued to renew ourselves. We have ensured that over the years, we do not just stay with just the awards, but what value can be added, right, to the Nigerian economy and particularly the capital market. For example, over the years, we have had, the annual capital market conference. We also have introduced the annual public lecture for the capital market. We also have ensured that we published this book, Winning Strategies of Nigeria's Corporate Giants. And then we have also published the second edition now. So for us, our people are the greatest assets. We ensure that we maintain the best of relationship, and then we go ahead with our people. You can see the members of the board. Some of the pioneering members of the board are still here. You also have the pioneering secretary of the board, who was there in 1995, still with us. So for us, we have made sure that we are strong on corporate governance. We continue to reinvent ourselves, re-strategize, and the grace of God has seen us through.
It's actually a thing of joy to witness an occasion like this. Again, from the background of the promoter of the event, who happens to be a long-term friend and a colleague in the industry, and going back memory lane, seeing that this venture had lasted this long, and to the glory of God, we are all alive to witness everything. And it's also gratifying that in Nigeria today, companies are seeing the benefit of good corporate governance. And there's no way cutting corners. If you don't do the right thing, you will not be around long enough. So it's a pleasure to witness this occasion.
First of all, to have a very strong regulatory body like SEC. Recently, the Securities and Exchange Commission came up with one of their rules to ensure that independent directors do not transit immediately into the leadership of companies. This is very good. Secondly, organizations like our own that really look at all the indices and reward companies for their excellent performance will make this process sustainable. And from the presentations, we have heard what other companies did to make them have a lasting legacy. And I think we will capitalize on that. Integrity, innovation. These are some of the key factors that we believe will make companies last longer.
As my friend and sister Aruma Ote said in her recent book, all hands must be on deck. So if Nigerian companies are going to be built to last, indeed all hands must be on deck. So let me start from the perspective of the founders of this business and the leaders of this business. You must come with a longevity mindset. You must come with a determination to put in place the right governance and corporate structures that will ensure that the business indeed outlives you. I had the privilege of attending a program at the Harvard Business School. I just graduated recently from the OPM, and I have some of my classmates who belong to companies that have been in existence for 400, 500 years, and you're like, wow, so why can't we have that? We heard today in Nigeria that we have very few companies. I think only six companies that have been in existence for over 100 years. Obviously, we need to have many more such companies. Secondly, from a governance perspective, policymakers need to understand that we need policy stability and policy consistency, a favorable environment for businesses to thrive and to last. So predictability of policies will be very important. A stable economy, security, and some of these, and of course, consistent infrastructure. Now, one of the things that also impressed upon me today, beyond governance, and one of the points I made is also succession planning, very deliberate succession planning and technology adoption. These are critical enablers for business sustainability. And the last thing that I will say is the point that was made by the keynote speaker, that we're now in a bunny world. It's a brittle world. It's a world where there is a lot of anxiety. It's a world where there is, it's not linear. And finally, there's a lot of inconsistency. So once we understand that, only the paranoid can survive. If we have that mindset, then we can build businesses that will last.
Corporate governance is about doing what is right. And so long as businesses do what is right, there's going to be sustainability. But sustainability will not just come on its own. You have to have the building blocks to have a sustainable business in terms of governance, in terms of policies, in terms of processes. So that's why if you see a company that lasts 100 or 120 or 30 years, you must see that there's that element of sustainability in its own way and doing business.
For any company to last over many years, the issue of corporate governance, which is summarized as doing things rightly, doing the right thing the right way, unless that is imbibed and that is a sine qua non, you can never live for long as a corporate. And so therefore, corporate governance, that is doing the right thing the right way, doing it by the rules or by the books, will make any company to last. No matter whose ox is gone, no matter who's involved, even when your children are in the business with you, you must ensure things are done the right way. Not because of who you know, not due to creed or religion or association. Things must be done in the proper way.
From the 30th Anniversary Pearl Awards Summit, it is clear that corporate governance is vital for Nigerian companies to achieve sustainability. It is also imperative that policies, legislations, and regulations should be tailored to incentivize more Nigerian companies to list in the capital market, to build companies that can last over a century.